Okay, so how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So why don't you tell everybody who you are and what
I'm-
your claim to fame is?
Yeah, I'm Tiffany Brookes, Dallas native, born and raised, and I am an adult film star, adult cinematic adventures chick.
So how long have you been doing it?
On and off for 10 years.
Why on and off?
Because you have to remember that, like, you get into it at 18. I think we all know you're not the same person at 18 to 20, 20 to 22. So as much as you're changing in those really formidable years, you kind of change your mind. You can't really decide which you want to do. You start off really bold and you're really comfortable with it, then you might get your feelings hurt by a few people and it makes you backtrack. But overall, for me, I think it has only helped build who I am today.
When you say your feelings hurt, I mean, can you elaborate on that?
If, for instance, dating is really, really difficult when you're in the adult industry. So the minute somebody throws up the "I don't like what you do," you back off 100%. Even though you could have a million people cheering for you to keep going, you're gonna be like, no, it's okay, it's okay.
Would you rather a guy know that that's what you do beforehand, or?
That is a really good question. That is sincerely a struggle every time I date somebody, or used to be that way. Now I feel like, let's just get the bullshit out of the way. I prefer it if somebody doesn't know what I do to not know what I do until they've met me first. Because once you get the impression of me, then any stereotype you might have in your mind kind of dissipates at that point.
So has a dude ever been like, come on now, I know you do that, I've seen you do it before?
I've gotten all kinds of wacky people come up behind you with their phones and just dip their phone in front of you, and there you are in all your glory in the middle of the airport. Like, wow. Yeah.
So, I mean, are you that recognizable that?
No, and honestly, it's really, I have to tip my hat off to the girls. The industry has changed dramatically in the time that I've been in it. So girls that you might know by name right now are girls that have probably been around for a while, and it takes a lot to get that type of attention and people to be, rooting for you, following you. Hell, give a shit what you do on Twitter.
Like Lisa Ann.
Nobody gives a fuck about Lisa Ann. You can keep that in there. That's so honest. We said that to her face at the Avians finally after 30 some odd fucking years. Dead serious. The thing is, in our industry, there's not a whole lot of camaraderie like people would maybe think. The girls try, it's really more the girls try to connect with each other because those are the people that whoever your fans are going to feed off mine, and vice versa. If they see us together, it's fun, it's exciting. We can merge all these different groups of people together. But if you have a shitty attitude and shitty plastic surgery,
Ouch.
I really can't help you.
So let me ask you. So at the beginning of a flick, there'll be like a situation like this where the girl will be sitting on the couch or on the bed and telling about herself. How much of that is scripted? And are all the girls 19, 20, 21? Is that bullshit or?
Well, yes, and no. Everything we do is scripted. Everything. And it's so controlled now to the point that even when you translate in English whatever, the script is, and it still doesn't make necessarily the same amount of sense as it does in, Hungary or whatever, you still have to act that out. We literally have said some really stupid things that we know are ridiculous, but that's the script.
I've heard that the porn industry is like one of the most racist industries out there. Would you agree to that?
I get offended at that. Wow. It better not be. As far as I know. I know that because, again, we're dealing with sexual fantasies and people's really deep, dark thoughts, and they're not always going to be the cookie cutter of boy meets girl and they have sex and that's it. It's, everybody's taste is different. There seems to have popped up this genre of I won't work for them because I can't even say some of the shit that they say, and the guys are comfortable with it. I don't encourage it only because I'm not a part of it. But if that's something that gets you off, then, and no harm, no foul to everybody, then go for it.
Is there anything that you won't do? Yes. Could you
That's
tell
a
us
long
what those?
list.
Really?
It's easier
Okay.
for me to tell you what I will do.
Okay.
when I was younger, when I first got in the business, I did girl and solo work only for a good amount of, 3 to 5 years, somewhere in that portion. Then, I came back and I slowly did a bunch of white boys, which is called, vanilla porn, the pretty girl porn. And then, I was, I've been dishonest for all these 10 years that I truly only date black men, and I prefer to only sleep with black men, period. That's it. It's just the way I am. So it used to be a big deal to be able to do a lot of interracial scenes. Now there's not so many. So it's, you don't always get to do what you want to do. You don't always get to do what your favorite is, but it is interesting when you do put yourself in situations that you normally wouldn't. For instance, you pick up new fetishes too. But racism, is that what the question is? Did I totally draw off on that? Racism, it's fucking weird. I don't know about racism. It's fucking terrible. I'm not racist. Well.
Well.
I mean, white people get on my nerves, but.
Damn.
It's okay. It's okay.
So when you said that there is less interracial, is that something that's going on by design?
No, porn has no more money.
Okay.
There is no money. It's exactly what happened with Napster and the music industry. It's exactly what's happened to us. All these free downloads and tube sites, and I know it's so exciting for everybody out there, but you're forgetting. If you want to keep seeing attractive people have sex, if you want to have the videos that you want to see personally, you at some point are going to have to pay. Because now we've just got a shit ton of shitty porn floating around the internet, and why pay anybody to do any more work?
How profitable are independent sites, like when porn stars have their own sites and they charge people to subscribe? Are those profitable?
You have to have a really large name, like you do, and if you're independent, for instance, I was with one of my best friends, she has her own site, Jessica James. They also did my site. That is so much work to have your own site. I don't think anybody really understands how grueling and exhausting that is, because you really are doing all the work for free in hopes that this will come back to, pay off and benefit. And you don't see that return for at least like 6-9 months, if that. You still have to pay off your webmasters. You've got other talent or crew that you've accumulated over the time, and content trays is what ended up happening. So there's so much more on the production side of porn, and there's a lot more that goes into it business-wise, that it's not a whole lot of just Twitter and me show up to set. I have to interact, and we all have to interact with people constantly.
Is that why we see so many porn stars doing webcams?
Oh, of course, yeah. Anything, because again, for instance, I would say 2008, typical for that work year, I was only doing like lesbian porn. I was busy about 4 to 5 shoots a week at times, and that's a lot. And I was one of the highest paid lesbian porn stars. It's a lot of money. I got paid what girls get paid to fuck guys nowadays, or even gangbangs. Now, you maybe, and I'm doing guys nowadays, I'm probably going to do maybe 2-3 scenes a month, if that. So your sources of income, and especially with the expansion of social media, you find all these other outlets, whether it's the Skyping or the webcamming, anything. And people want the closest interaction that they can to anybody that is a fantasy to them, whether it's an, rapper, porn star, anybody. They want to be as close to them as possible. Now, I'm yet to see that, Kanye has let out his phone number to Twitter for fans to contact him, but we have that. You can contact us directly.
So what's the average or start off pay for a porn star these days, if someone's just getting into it now?
Well, we call those girls, they're not porn stars yet.
They're
You have not earned
amateurs.
those stripes, honey. But you are a girl in porn, and that's the problem. That's the thing. We have a lot of girls in porn. We don't have a lot of porn stars anymore. It's a dying breed. The average girl starting off, if she's cute and she's young and she's natural, young and natural, not a lot of tattoos, she'll probably start off at $900 to $1,000 a scene. That's a really good girl. If she's below average, she's gonna make $700-800 a scene. Some girls then come in and fuck the game up for everybody, like the girls at the strip club that want to give BJs for $35. You're like, fuck. So girls will come in and they'll like lowball that, but that's gonna limit your work. If you have a bunch of work put out, a bunch of videos coming out at once, not everybody is gonna be excited about seeing you. You gotta stage this. It's like people have been waiting to see me, do anal or gangbang for 10 years. I mean, they saw me just finger bang myself for like 5 years to now. I'm finally doing black guys, and they're like, oh my god, what's she gonna do next? So, the best you can, you try to navigate your career through all the little obstacles of stages that we have.
What particular scenes pay better? I mean, like, is there a hierarchy of, like you said, gangbangs and all that? I mean, are those, do you
The
get
more
more
dicks,
for
the
that?
more money.
Really? Okay.
Oh, that's a lot of fucking work, y'all. Shit. Excuse you. Wait a minute. Yes, that is a lot of work. The more women in a scene, you'll get the same pay. So, if there's a bunch of girls and one guy, you'll get the same rate, $1,000 that scene, for instance. But multiple guys, it's obviously gonna be a lot more money. Now, with multiple guys doesn't mean you have to put everything in every hole. That multiple guy scene could just be them doing a train on you or whatever, but it's still vaginal and mouth only. Then anything past that, you're really gonna skyrocket on some numbers. But again, you have to have a name that will draw in a reason to come up with that chunk of money to give you. So they're not gonna just take any random girl and let her take all that and all the money. No.
So DPs would be more.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck yeah. DPs are a lot more. Double badge, double anal. I don't even watch those. I've heard about them. Those girls get paid. Do it. Because I can't.
So what do you watch?
I like myself. Not in my porn videos though. Not in my porn videos. My sex at home is way better. I've even had to like cheat and like show little excerpts of my personal at home videos on my Twitter just so people know that like I'm so over making some shitty, unattractive sex.
So tell us more about this personal sex life. What makes it so much better than?
Because I won't do anything for free if it's not good. Never. I don't have one night stands. I don't have mistakes from a bar. Like, that's not gonna happen. If I'm gonna have sex in my personal life, it's gonna be fucking phenomenal. I mean, I'm yet to say I have ever had a bad sex life. And I can say that about all my exes too.
So to quote Ghostface Killer, in one song he says like, "You goddamn right I fuck fans." Do you feel the same way?
Fuck fans?
Yes.
Well, it only within like the past year got brought to my attention that there were people that maybe I knew of, or like athletes or whatever that I thought were cute, that all of a sudden were telling me that they knew about me before I knew about them type thing. Yeah, I'm still gonna fuck you. I mean, I don't care. At least we already got it over the hump. You know what I do. I mean, we've made it past that point, so we just keep going. But like, fuck a fan? No. I mean, no.
What's your worst on-film experience?
I don't have a lot of bad experiences on my sets. But I will say, just when you're having to just really put on your actress gig face that day. You just really having to have a poker face throughout the whole scene, and it's almost unbearable. Some people, you don't even know how the fuck they got there that day. Don't know where somebody found them, but they got tested, so we worked. It's because it's personal preference. That's gonna be your worst day at work. You're really not interested in either the person you have to fuck. You're not attracted to them. I mean, they could be an asshole. They could get on your nerves. You could think they're gay. They probably are gay. I mean, a lot of our male talent are. So there aren't bad days like that. I don't have experiences like some of the other girls to say. Just it's not a fun day at work necessarily when you have to fuck somebody that you're not really into.
I would take it that you do reserve the right to refuse anyone's service.
Oh fuck yeah.
Have there been situations where you said, no, I'm not fucking him?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm the queen of sending your ass home. Come to my set. You're a stunt cock. Yeah, I'm on the front cover. This shit, Google me. Like, it'll never die. We have no idea who the fuck you are, and that's your purpose. That's why you get less than I do. That's why you can go longer than we can. Our shelf life nowadays is like, for a new girl coming to porn, like 2 years. If that. If she can even make it through the first year. Used to be a 5 to 10 year shelf life. But it's way shorter. With guys, you can go as long as your dick can get hard. Like, as long as you get hard, they're gonna use you. And especially if the longer you're around, the more experience you have, obviously it's just like, that's an old pro. I mean, that's just who you rely on. So thank you to those who are reliable old pros, and the other ones are just, they have big dicks and this is their only job.
Speaking of job, have you ever thought about life after porn yet?
Yes. Simultaneously with porn, every time that I would leave, it was because I was doing school or something of that nature. I have found ways, though, now that I can't sit behind a desk. I can't have somebody else be my boss, per se. And it's not because I'm not respectful or can't handle that. It's because I'm going to use porn to my advantage. It's not going to be something that was a mistake or looked at as, shameful. It is what it is, and I have to stand by it because it's me. But, the doors and opportunities that have opened up because of porn, ironically enough, it's phenomenal. Every girl nowadays is an Instagram model. Everybody's a model. Well, how can I, cheat the line a little bit and scoot around them? Well, I'm, porn star. Oh, okay, yeah, you come to the front. Come to the front. Come on. So, yeah, I use it to my advantage. I'm just not going to let it get the best of me.
You said you had to compete with girls who would lowball for scenes. How is it competing with girls that have had augmentations?
It's a whole different ballgame. If I had breast implants or if I had plastic surgery, I would be able to all of a sudden do a whole new genre of stuff that, I've never done. It's actually a whole new chapter of whether it's money or just films to do. But I've done really well and have purposely not had any breast augmentation done or anything like that because it made me look younger and it made my career last a little bit longer in certain areas where I'm not immediately a MILF. I'm like a substitute teacher before I become a teacher, that type of stuff. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's not fun to necessarily stand next to a girl with big old boobs and you don't have them, but we both in our own rights have our own groups of people that follow us.
So, orgasms. I'm assuming most of those are fake. Is that true?
Well, they're believable, aren't they? And I'm
That's
doing my
not the
job
point.
right. And I'm doing my job right. Look, I mean, it is what it is. If I could have an orgasm the way I want to every scene, that'd be phenomenal. That'd be great. Like I said, my personal life, my sex life is amazing. And that's what I do for free. When I get paid to do what I need to do and to really create an energy that is uniquely believable.
I'm gonna take it that they are fake then. But the newbies, like let's say 2 or 3 scenes in, assuming we believe that this is really their third scene, or do you think they're really having orgasms because they're not?
At 18, and you're running from a dick because you can't arch your back and hold it and suck in and sit in doggy perfectly, and then you learn the art of fucking and looking good while doing it in porn. And when you were brand new, you were just kind of hanging on through the ride of the first amount of films. I mean, you're having to get down the whole routine and which 4 positions we're gonna do, and this is how. And before you know it, everything is just second nature. I mean, you know exactly each position, how long you need to go. You don't need the director to tell you 5 or whatever. But no, those new girls at 18, you don't know how to have an orgasm vaginally, sweetheart. You don't. You're gonna have to figure out some other ways, and they do. But that's the beauty of porn. Like, if you can find ways of looking at the advantages I have, I know my body and myself way better than I think a lot of people my age. Absolutely. It may be shitty at the beginning and kind of awkward, but some guys like watching awkward sex, I guess. And then the girl gets better and better. And before you know it, she figured out she can squirt. Crazy shit like that.
Speaking of squirting, is that piss or is it orgasm fluid?
It's orgasm fluid. Some girls could possibly have like a little bit of like urine or something that comes out, I imagine, because it's an uncontrollable like muscle spasm is the way it feels. Like whatever happens, it happens. That's why we all look shocked every time. Like no, we don't look like we were hoping for it to happen, but when it happens, we're like, oh shit, sorry, got everywhere.
So, first time you squirted, I almost am kind of embarrassed to even ask you something like this. I mean, what was the circumstances around that?
He's a male talent. He's a porn actor, but it's kind of funny. His name's Marcus London. He really has the art of making any girl. There's apparently been no girl that's come into contact with him in his hand that has not squirted, and I'm talking within, it's seconds. It is mind-blowing, not just because it felt that great, because you're just like, what the fuck did you just do to me? Like, you're so confused, and you're like, you're not sure if you're violated or happy about it. But that was my first experience, and I mean, I'm not shy. I mean, again, I've grown with my body, like, over the years, and you're in front of the camera, and you're spread eagle all the time, and, you know, things like that aren't gonna make you maybe nervous or shy like they would if you experienced that for the first time at home. So we get pumped, like, that's another thing to add to our to-do list, like, oh, she'll squirt. More money.
Have you done more exotic sexual things in your personal life or in your really? Would you care to share?
It's not a secret. I said in an interview over the summer, I kind of opened up about, I'll never say who they are, but they're football players, and we're very, very close. There's 4 of them. And we managed to get together throughout the year, a couple times a year. We're super close friends. Look, they've got their relationships, I'll have mine or whatever, but when we get together, it's just me and them in the hotel room for like a night or 2 nights, and what is it, that Crown Apple shit, and then a few months later, well, I mean, it's a party. It's fun, and God knows I would have never gotten to experience that without even being involved. I don't know, just porn, but it definitely let me feel confident trying something like that. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed about it at all, because it's fucking fun. I've clearly done it more than once. And again, for free.
How did you get involved in porn, or why did you go into porn?
The why is a longer answer than the how and the when and what. The why is always everybody's story of how they got there, is, you know, teach their own, but we all kind of have the same similar backstory. But how I fell into porn was, I really fell into it. When I say I fell on a dick, I really like just kind of stumbled into porn. I moved at 18 from Dallas to Dayton, Ohio, Satan's asshole, like middle of nowhere. And Playboy came through town and found me at the mall, is where it was, and asked if they could fly me to LA to do a test shoot. So they flew me to LA. Long story short, it turned into my very first girl experience, which was caught on camera. Like, deer in headlights, full on. Y'all, like, before porn at 18, I just had sex for the first time. A blowjob was really given for the first time on camera. Doggy, being on top, without my shirt on, without my socks on, kissing a girl, all those things were first time on camera. So, I figured myself out and my sexuality out through porn, but the way I got into porn was just because I was comfortable taking nude photos. And clearly when you start waving around a fatter chick in front of my face, I'm like, well, wait a minute, this may not be that bad, it's just another girl, right? So yeah, and it just takes off like that. And then you do find your way on your own, and you have no other choice but to, unfortunately, probably make a few mistakes in the porn industry when you first get in, but as you make your way through it, you really figure out what you're willing to do, what you're ready to progress and figure out and do. And hopefully you're not doing anything because you have to, you're doing it because you're curious about it, or you're good at it. I don't have any regrets, and I don't have anything negative to say about the porn industry as a whole, per se. You know, if you can get into the industry and take what you want from it and it be something that's a stepping stone, then you're winning. But if you're a slave to it and you have to do it and you don't really, you know, want to be there, then it can take advantage of you. So no bad experiences. I think people are definitely a lot different nowadays towards porn in general. We like reality porn. People they don't like the same old porn. They want to be that close. So it's different. It's a whole new game.
And to wrap it up, what porn stars do you co-sign?
Jessica James. I love her so much. She was the very first Hustler Honey, and she's still bomb as fuck. CEO, president of 4 or 5 different sites now. She's crazy. Yeah. Caden Cross, Jessie Jane. Those are the girls.
And do you have any vices? This is going in our vice issue, so we've been asking everybody what their vices are.
Black men. I'm screwed.